There you go. Good morning.
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Let's see if I can move this.
This chilly morning. I think we got about 35 degrees here.
In the house or what's it in the house?
No, not in the house. We've got the house 60.
That's why you're wearing your bonnet.
Yeah. My head's crooked. I keep going. Okay.
Hang on, I gotta tell one person that we're doing live because she hasn't been getting the notifications. And if y'all aren't getting the notifications, let me know. There we go. Okay. Someone said hi and I can't see it. Oh, it said, hey, Timmy.
How y'all doing?
Can you
Good to
see?
see you.
Can y'all see us or do I need to turn on the light? You think I need
No,
to
we
turn the
can
light?
see. This is good.
Not you see. You can see
Can y'all
them.
see
There's a
us?
screen.
Can you see us?
Okay. Anyways, good morning. Hey, Philip. Good morning. Philip, I was talking about you and your music abilities to Timmy all last week as we were talking. Good morning. I can't see who's saying good morning for Northwest Wisconsin. Oh, Lord have mercy. Better you than me.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, a friend of ours lives by Green Bay, and then we have another one up in Tony,
Yeah.
Wisconsin, and
Yeah, that's like close to Switzerland or somewhere. Sorry.
for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Amber,
I'm Tim.
and we're two of the five Bradshaw family members that moved from the city life by the east coast of South Carolina to off-grid here in East Tennessee. My words aren't finding me this morning yet.
We
I
didn't
haven't
live
had.
by the East Coast.
We lived on the East Coast by the ocean.
We lived on the east side of Ocean Highway, a mile from the beach, and
City life.
we had,
And here we are,
yeah,
off-grid, looking at the Smoky Mountain National Forest on 47 acres in East Tennessee.
yeah. We were the typical beach people. You know, you drive by our house, you see the towels hanging out, and there's sand in the yard, and
Surfboards all over under the
surfboards
carport,
and beach chairs. And
palm trees.
should I go on? That's
No,
enough.
you're making me miss it. Stop. Anyhow, um, play my music nice and loud so the neighbors can enjoy it. Philip, I was thinking about you the other day. There's a home. I was scrolling on Facebook or something at night, and which I rarely do, by the way. But this certain post, they did all of their Christmas lights to music, and then they threw in a chicken, like doing its thing, crowing and stuff at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was pretty cool to tell you the truth.
Yeah, well,
But they did it to tick off the neighbors.
you always want to have those neighbors. So when you're over there jamming, you want them to come over and knock on the door and go, "Could you turn it up, please? I can't hear it."
We had those neighbors back in Polly's.
Yeah, they just come over and join.
And pretty much every single one of our neighbors within ears distance was over at our house. Either they brought their guitar, their bongos, their
Trash
whatever.
can,
Yeah,
down
they
bucket.
played on a trash can. It was a good. I'm way up north. Oh my goodness. True North. Well, God bless you, honey. I know you're cold. That's Timmy's body couldn't survive in the cold like that. I brought him here. Well, God brought him here to Tennessee and said, "Yep, this is about his limit." He don't have enough cushion on him.
Yeah, I don't do the antifreeze anymore, so it's
Please.
sorry.
Have you guys had a good week? Tell me about your week. We had a good week. What did you do last week?
What did I do?
You want me to share the video?
I can't even remember. Slop the hogs.
There's a video of you.
Oh, yeah.
Stay. Not everybody joined us last week,
Yeah,
so tell them
I
about
played a song at the church, and
his first solo.
yeah, my first solo, and I was
All
nervous.
acoustic.
Yeah, I got up there, and suddenly I felt this bead of sweat roll down the back of my neck, and I felt my knees were weak. they had offered to give me a stool to sit on, and I refused. I was like, no, I can stand up, and
You
and
didn't take the stool?
I
I
got
would
up
have
there,
taken
and
the
I was,
stool.
man, I thought they probably thought I was going to do an Elvis song the way I was shaking. I was like, but I got through it.
You did good. Who's barking? Stop it.
So
The one sister's barking at her other sister because she don't want to play. Uh, Snow makes me powerful. Hey, Dad. Good morning. Steve, good morning, brother. Well, then you must be Superman right now, Steve, because I heard y'all are in it thick
well, it's a motivator, yeah.
to
Snow
stay in bed.
I mean to stay warm and make sure the heat's working and
Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? We woke up and I could see my breath. I'm like, yep, it's a cold one. And we went from like 80 degrees to 12 within the same week. That's not fun. And we did have a beautiful snowstorm though. It was very unexpected. The really pretty, good morning, honey. The really pretty big snowflakes that stick, the best kind to do snowball fights with and snowmen with. And
it was powdery, yeah.
it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And it would have been good skiing snow.
It was that squeaky snow when you walk on it.
Squeaky snow. But it shuts everything down around here. Like, because we don't have the bandwidth to take care of snowy roads around here. I mean, they're dangerous enough to drive on by yourself. I mean, just as a beautiful, sunny, dry day, they're dangerous. Very.
Yeah.
And then you throw anything in it, a little bit of rain, a strong wind,
hills and curves,
and cliffs with no side. Our roads are so small, y'all, that when they come down with that paint, the outer edge paint, it don't go on the road. It goes on the grass on the outside of it.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so you sang at church.
Yeah.
And for those of you that want to download it or look at it, I know I said I would record it, but I can't upload that from my phone. It takes too much whatever connectivity, I guess, to the internet. But RCBC, it's Richardson Cove Baptist Church. They put a live every week of our service, and it was last Sunday, which I can't remember the date now. The first, yeah, oh yeah, December 1st. And hello, oh hello, how are you, honey? And it was December 1st, and it was during our worship part of the service. So it was before our preacher started, and our service starts at 10:30, and our preacher starts at what time does David start? 11?
Something like that.
Something like that. But anyhow, you'll see him singing. And they asked him to come back again, so it must have not been too bad.
Too bad.
I loved it, but I'm very biased. So, and then what did we do?
Oh, we went to Knoxville and watched the Christmas Carol play.
It was at the University of Tennessee, which was phenomenal.
It was really good. Yeah.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah, they had some really good actors, and
the set was amazing.
They did a really good job.
A tiny bit of snow up here, but windy temps in the teens. I don't know what it is here. Like I said, we woke up the other day and I could see my breath, but Timmy got up instantly and jumped on. We have our house isn't insulated, y'all. If you've watched Building Off the Grid, we're only about 50% improved from that show. I mean, people in the comments, I remember when the show came out and I was reading the comments, which I should have never done. And they were like, oh, they're fake. You can see outside. Da, 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 da. They're not living there. Well, y'all have had coffee with us ever since we filmed that show. So you know what we've been doing. And yeah, we do live here. And yes, you can see outside in some spots. And we're about 50% improved from that show. Not much more than that.
Well, it's a step above my great grandmama's house. I mean, you could
she had newspaper.
You could see, yeah, they had Sears catalog, and let's see, you could see the chickens underneath the house. You can't. I mean, we don't see that.
But that's because you closed underneath the house, and the chickens can't get up in there. We could probably see them if we wanted to. We let them up under there. But no, we're 50% improved. So you see the black behind us, that's tar paper that we use to protect us from the outside elements.
Yeah.
But right over here by by me, where did it go? Right there, where you see all the pots and pans, that is sheetrock with insulation. So we've it's just a work in progress, like everything,
Yeah, and
you
there's
know.
not a big hole behind that cow's head right there. Just we just didn't put that up there. People probably think, oh, they put the cow up there to cover the hole in the
Ain't
wall.
nobody, not one of you thought that we used the cow to cover a hole. Not one. What's wrong with you? Baby steps. Yeah, no kidding, honey. We definitely take, well, tell God your plans. You've got your day started. You're like, I'm going to work on insulation, and then next thing you know, a tree came down, the electric fence, and there goes your, couple days worth of work, and by then you've got something else that come up. So we get to it when we
Yeah,
can.
and I mean, we have to be careful with the insulation because we have everything in the house. We're living in here, and insulation. You just cut a piece and bring it in. You have little fibers flying everywhere. So you gotta work
Wait, whoa,
slow
whoa, wait,
and be
wait,
careful.
wait. Is that your excuse for it not being done? Is you got to be careful with insulation?
No, I mean it's unless you use rock wool, and which is not a bad idea. I wish we could afford it.
What? You have a little bit to wake up, Lyndon. We're doing live right now. I don't know. I haven't heard from her.
Sorry.
Sorry for this interruption, folks. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled program in just one moment. Beep. Now, Lyndon, hey, if you can be cheesy, I can be cheesy. We balance each other out. No, Lyndon and Ashlyn are going. Lyndon is going up to Gavin and Ashlyn's today, and they are going to make apple butter. Um, it's not regular apple butter, your average. She makes it every winter. It's made with those little red hots. It's red hot apple butter, and it's quite tasty. And so Lyndon's going to go do that to um, carry on the tradition, and she will just wanted to know what time to get there. But I was thinking y'all a lot this week, and it's kind of hit me. Last week we talked about the power of our words and how they put it out there. And this is something that we've talked about in our family for years. I don't let the kids, any of them ever, the whole time growing up, say the word I hate. I don't let them talk bad about themselves. Timmy, when he ever does it, I'm like, don't talk about my husband that way. I mean, I'll fight him over it. Because the power of your words have a lot of power, and there's a lot of biblical truth about this. And I'm just scratching the surface at studying it deeply. I've always heard about it, but I'm studying it now because the power of our words. And you can either speak positive out there or you can speak negative out there. And if you're speaking negative out there, then if you're like, I hate my job, it sucks the life out of me, it just drags me down, then you'll continue to hate your job. It'll continue to suck the life out of you. It'll continue to drag you down. I'm very consciously trying to make myself aware of that. And you too. I mean, I've noticed you've changed the way that you talk about your homestead chores and things that you have to do throughout the day to try to make it where you're not saying so negative all the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, our words, they affect other people, and if you're whopping all the time, you know, you're probably gonna have effects on other people too. So eh, nobody
Bonjour from
wants to
Paris,
hear
France.
that.
Bonjour from Paris, France. Thank you for joining us.
But
And
of course, you can get those people where you're sitting around complaining about everything,
oh,
and then
they'll
you
join
get
right in.
somebody else out there, and man, before you know it, you can't stop. It's
Well, and then I saw this other. It was a graphic, and it had a huge impact on me. It had a group of oranges, kind of like the bad apples spoils one bunch, and they were beautiful, and they were all over here. And then they had this rotten, that green orange that you find in the bottom of your fridge that you forgot about, or in your fruit basket, and it was touching a beautiful orange. And they pulled it away, and you saw the mold and the
transfer
rot
into it.
transfer to that beautiful orange. And they said, be careful of the company that you keep, and that is so true. Again, there's biblical scripture about that. about the company you keep and who you hang around with and who you sit down with and who you walk with. And there's a reason. It's not to judge others and to look down on them and point your finger. It's because God knows the type of impact it's going to have on your life. Hang on just a second, y'all. I need to touch a coffee.
Huh.
What's huh?
Well, I mean, I've been in the situations where I'm talking to people and they're just complaining. I Back when we lived at the beach, we had a friend that he worked in the local hardware store, and we went in one day and we asked him, it's like, hey man, it's like waves are good. You want to, get your board and come down with us, take a break. And he's like, nah, I don't feel like it. And then we asked him about his guitar. It's like, well, you been playing your guitar lately? He goes, nah. He's like, no, I hadn't felt like it. And it just seemed like everything we asked him, he was like, nah. And we left and we started talking how, you get in those ruts where you just all the good things that you used to do and the fun things you just I don't know.
You forget to enjoy life
Yeah,
sometimes.
you forget to enjoy life, and it's sad. And
Well, when go ahead, I'm sorry.
it does give you a chance to reflect on your life too. When you hear things like that, I'm like, man, I'm glad I'm not like that. But of course, we all get in those situations. So
And I said it's okay to have a pity party. Just don't stay there long. Make their last call and then get out that door, and close it. Um, because we can't sit there and just be all happy and chipper all the time. Life's not like that, but you got to watch how you speak. And I've tried to change that with my job, specifically when I'm unhappy with it. And or even I got a hair in my eyes, y'all. Timmy has been like that a lot. He goes, just feeding the animals is so hard. He complained about it all the time. And rightfully so, it's a lot of hard physical work. And especially the way we live, we have to haul water up 300 foot up a mountain. We don't have that luxury of just turning on a faucet. It just makes everything more difficult. And they're far away. We didn't build them their cage right by our not cage, fenced in area right by our house. It's a bit of a walk down the mountain and nothing's flat around here.
that's
But
easy going down.
we've had several come to Jesus meetings about that. And I think he has tried successfully to change that the vocalization of, oh, I've got to do this, to, oh, I get to do this. I'm blessed to do this. How many people have y'all met? And maybe you're one of them where you wanted something so bad and then you got it. And instead of being in that moment of eternal gratefulness, you start complaining, wanting something else, like that next step, that next level, like you're never satisfied. Like they get the job that they said they wanted, and then they complain about their new boss. They complained about their poor coworkers, or they finally moved out of this place that they were at and to where they dreamed about moving. And all you hear them do is want, 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 want. And if you don't know that person, it might be you, just saying, because we all know that one person. And so I've been thinking a lot. Did your son and his wife finish their house? Honey, no, they did not, but they're in there. They just celebrated their 2-year wedding anniversary. And I'm going to go back to what I was talking about in a second. I'll remember. And Timmy, tell them what you and Gavin are doing currently now with a house.
Oh, we're adding on an addition, and
It's going to add 2 bedrooms and a huge living room to
yeah,
it.
2 bedrooms and a living room, and it is 20 by 24, and we're building it right onto the side, and it's going to have, you know, basically it's going to be all one long house. It's going to be
Yeah, we're reducing the roof size, though. It's not going to
yeah,
have the loft upstairs
yeah.
because that pitch of a roof is a pain in the butt.
So yeah, they'll have you know
They'll have a 14 by
54
20.
feet
Yeah, the 14 by 20 living area and the two bedrooms will be 10 by 10.
So the house will be 54 long and it'll be 20 feet wide when it's done.
And they just celebrated, like I said, their second year wedding anniversary. And they live completely off grid. They don't have solar or anything up there. Now they have some solar lights and such, but yeah, they're doing good.
Yeah, they'll have a big house, and it's going to be nice. Because one part, the original part, has an upstairs,
It has a
and
huge loft
so
and
it's
then the kitchen, and yeah, so it'll
yeah.
be it's a blessing for sure. But back to what I was saying about the speaking of things, there's so many things that we had to have here. I used to be like that. Now I'm grateful for all God's blessings. Yeah. And honey, it's easy to be like that because you ache, you lost your job, you just life stinks, it's hard, people are mean, inflation. There's just so many reasons to justify your complaints. But if we realized honestly what it does to our mental state and even our physical health, we probably would think twice about it. And a lot of us don't know. And there's something I want to share with you guys. Just a second. There was this one guy that I listened to, and it made sense. And he was talking. He was going, "Hey, if you, when you're in heaven, before you're born, your soul's in heaven, or that's how it works. And you're talking to God, and you get to choose the type of person that you want to be. They can see us right now. We can't see them. I got a different screen up. And it says, imagine you're talking to God about the person you want to become. And you tell God, I want to be courageous. God replies, then I'll give you monsters to terrify you. That way you can conquer them. Then you tell God, I want to be patient. And God replies, then I'll make your work harder and longer. That way you can learn to wait. And then you say, I want to be wise. And God replies, then I will give you failures that will crush your spirit. That way you can learn the value of judgment. And then you say, I want to be rich. Then I will give you struggles that will test your resilience. I will give you challenges that force you to be resourceful and moments of scarcity that teach you to appreciate abundance. Wealth isn't measured only by the gold you collect, but by the knowledge and relationships and character you build along the way. True riches I offer come from who you become through the trials you endure, not with the ease of which you gain it. And then you say, well, that sounds like a hard life. Can you give me a good life? God replies, just like we measure the quality of a blacksmith by the strength of his steel, I measure you by what you are at the end, not the fire and the hammer it took to make you. A good life isn't an easy life. A good life makes you into a good person. And that, my child, is a hard life.
Mm, amen.
And that was so powerful because I remember five, a little over 5 years ago. Um, Maybe not quite 5 years ago. I was praying a prayer to God, going, God, make me humble. We had, oh yeah, it was 5 years ago. We had just finished the show. It aired. It had great success. We were in a magazine deal to be editors of our own homesteading magazine. The kids were getting ready to sign a contract with Netflix and Disney to do their own series. And then we were being interviewed for another series on TV. And I said, Lord, just keep me humble. And I prayed it and I was sincere. And then within maybe that same month, all in 1 week, everything fell through. Every TV show, the magazine deal, all of it. And I didn't see the blessing during the storm. I was broken. I was devastated. I even had a friend that used to do morning chats with us, told me she was sick of hearing me complain, that it was just a coffee chat with me going, wah, 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 life is hard, poor Amber, poor Timmy, blah, blah, blah. Because here are these people that got what they wanted and they're still complaining. And that was me. And I felt abandoned because we were out of money. We were in a place that we didn't know. And we had life was so much harder than we ever anticipated as far as living off grid. And Timmy was struggling physically, mentally to complete the task. to provide for us. We were going through floods and snowstorm, and it was just hard. It was really hard. It was hard to be positive. It was hard to see the blessing. But now, fast forward 5 years, looking back, I'm so thankful that he answered that prayer.
I tell you when it was tough for me, and it's when Amber, she got a job in Gatlinburg, and Gavin started working, and it was just
You were here by
I
yourself
was
doing
here
it
by
all.
myself, and you know
And
it was
homeschooling. No,
yeah.
no, wait. We had Lyndon in public school then.
Well,
Just that.
it was still kind of a new place, you know. It still had I was still thinking about living back home, and I felt like I was just staying at somebody else's house, and it was I don't know, it was a feeling that I wanted something and I didn't know what I wanted, you know. So I was so happy when it changed and Amber was able to come back home, even though Gavin was still working, and only on his off days were we able to work together and get things done. And because I was just only capable of doing so much. And then with the wet weather and the rain, and man, I've never seen so much rain in my life, you know, here in Tennessee. I mean, it rained for 4 or 5 days straight, you know, and no shelter, no shop to work in, and it was just, man, dude, it's like trying to work under a tent and build stuff. And I was like, man, Lord, please, help me deal with this. No, I guess you end up giving it to God, and He gets you through it. Just like with the animals and everything, the struggles I have there. I'm like, Lord, please, just help me get through this. Change me so I can, appreciate what I have because they need me. I'm their caretaker. So it you have to humble yourself, and
Or God will
these
humble you.
yeah, to get through these situations, just give it to God. So
But the thing is, too, it's like, you know, God's not going to answer your prayers. That answer might be no. Or God may answer them, just like when I was reading about, in a way that you don't understand right now. For instance, just like I was saying, if you prayed for wisdom and he puts you through these trials so you can gain that wisdom. And I mean, we've been talking about in our Sunday school a lot about this. It's like, would you know love if you didn't know hate? Would you know, hunger, or would you know being full and satisfied if you never knew hunger? I don't think you would. Have you ever been in that position? And I was thinking about this morning as I got up, where you were relieved of some type of pain that you had for a long time. And when you were relieved of it, you said, "Man, I didn't realize how bad I was feeling all this time," until you felt better. And that situation is, I think we have to go through those trials and these tribulations so we will be grateful for what we have. And um even, and I was thinking, it's like, even a diamond's got to go through the fire to become beautiful. So if you're feeling those, trials and struggles and those tribulations, that we're supposed to go through those. We're called to go through those. God says he's not going to leave us ever. He'll see us through them and he'll give us peace during that time. But we're going to go through those. Life isn't supposed to be easy. And if you had an easy life and everything was just always given to you on a platter, what type of testimony would you have, or what type of person would you be?
mm,
So I am more careful though when I pray to God. When I say, Lord, help keep me humble, I stop myself every time going, Amber, just be careful.
yeah, I'm
What were you thinking just there? Because you weren't here. You were thinking something.
well, you think when you pray to God that He's just gonna,
We're
you're gonna be walking through a field of daisies and everything's beautiful. It's not. It's not that.
Well, see, I think that's what the
It
devil
just gives you
sells.
peace in the struggles.
And I think that's what the devil sells people, especially our youth right now. They are being brought up, those participation trophies. They're not supposed to feel disappointment. They're not supposed to feel rejection. They're not supposed to be sad during the day. They're supposed to be happy all the time. Everybody in their life is supposed to make them feel good, or they want to do cancel culture. And that's what's wrong. That's not the life. Me and you've had that conversation. It's like, oh, you thought life was supposed to be easy?
Hmm.
And I said, that's entitled thinking. We're not ever promised an easy life.
Yeah.
We're promised that we won't go through it alone. And if we had an easy life, how much faith would we have to have? If you always had just a bankroll of cash and you had a whole bunch of safety nets, how would you have God to provide for you? You wouldn't have to have faith to
Well,
provide for you.
if you get everything you ask for, it's
It's not Willy Wonka.
you're not yeah you're not going to appreciate anything. But
We do need to pray for you.
and pray for it. And
She said, pray for our youth. When I was talking about our
oh
kids
yeah,
today and they're happy. And that's,
it's
I'm
a
sorry, go ahead and
it's
finish
a
your
different
thought.
it's a different world now. I mean,
Well, and I was telling Lyndon that too, because she was feeling rejected by members of the church. And a lot of times, especially when you're younger and even older, when you have someone that's ugly to you that professes to be a Christian, instead of looking at it as like, you know, the sin, you're looking at God and blaming him. These are your people. Society judges Christians like that too. Look what they're doing and they're claiming to be your person. They're a
yeah,
horrible commercial for Christ. And I told her and I said, honey, be careful because that's when Satan will prey on you and
yeah,
that whole inclusive community will come and attack her with inclusion and false love and community and support where she's being rejected by those who claim to know Christ. And I said, this is the time that in your life where Satan will send somebody to come and, recruit you
yeah,
or get you or make you feel like you're wanted, loved, included, where you don't feel like that in the church. I said, so you need to dive deep into your relationship with Christ so he can protect you from this. And we as parents need to pray a hedge around her all the time. But this doesn't just happen with children, it happens with all of us. We just don't have that. We just, as adults, we just don't no longer have those areas where we're around a bunch of peers, like we were in school.
well, yeah, I don't think we're at that point where we're trying to discover something to fit in. And if you think about the devil, I think he spends a lot of time at the drawing board trying to figure out new ways. And
To take us off
it's
track.
working for him
Yeah.
because there are so many things that are in the world today that we never
Had to deal
had to
with.
deal with.
Can you imagine if we had to deal with the internet and phones, chat,
It's
videos,
a lot.
videos
Yeah,
tracking our every move and all the stupid stuff we used to do growing up?
yeah.
Ooh,
And
Lord have
I
mercy.
think he's going to continue to do that. And it's just, the more we focus on God, that I don't think I know he's gonna attack us even more, trying to get us to you know go with him.
When
But
you're on the right track, that's when he comes at you the
yeah,
most.
he's like I said, he's at the drawing board right now. He's trying to figure some more stuff out to
But
get us.
and I know we all gotta go, and Timmy's coffee's kind of low here, but that's just something. And it's probably going to be a long study when I talk about the power of your words. Those are just things to think about this week as we move forward. What are you putting out there when you're talking to, and not just strangers, but more importantly, those that are close to you?
Yeah,
I notice that I treat sometimes strangers so much nicer than I treat my own family. And that's so wrong. And I mean,
I've
I'm
been
not
there.
saying I'm abusive. I'm just saying when Lyndon comes down the stairs, I'm not always, hey, how you doing, honey? Hadn't seen you in a long time. Come here, give me a hug. And I would do that to somebody that I hadn't seen at church.
Yeah,
When
we can be punching bags sometimes.
Yeah. And Yeah, your family's there to support you, but you're also there to help build them up and encourage them. And remember that visual about the oranges too. If you've got someone in your life that's being negative, oh, you can't do that. You want a homestead?
Hmm.
You want to live off grid? You're going to be one of those people. You're conspiracy theorists. If anybody's like that in your life, create healthy boundaries, really distant, healthy boundaries. And it doesn't matter if they're blood related or not. Don't let those people speak negative into your life all the time. Pray for them. God bless your heart. Say that much. But anyhow, so we're going to get going, y'all. I've got, and I'll show you right here because I pulled it out before we even went live. I've got my homemade vanilla that we did. And I had just a little bit left that I gave out a couple of these to gifts. But if you want to make a good little gift for somebody, and it doesn't have to be, you can just put it together. It doesn't have to be already vanilla. They can wait on it. But I got these little flip top 4-ounce glass jars that I absolutely love off of Amazon. I think I got 12 of them or something like that for less than $20. And they have these little chalkboard signs. And then you just put your alcohol, which I use vodka. You can use something else, and your vanilla beans in it. And then write your thing on there with a day and give it to them and tell them to let it sit for 6 weeks. But I got my nutmeg. I have my whole cream. I got my half a dozen eggs, and I'm going to make homemade eggnog this morning.
Homemade eggnog.
We made some cookies yesterday. The kids at church tonight have a big cookie fest going on. And y'all, I love Christmas. Say what you want about the holiday and it not being on December 25th when Jesus was born and all that. This is when we celebrate his birth. It doesn't mean we celebrate it. Actually, this year it's going to be on December 29th. I think we're going to celebrate it. We celebrate it on January 6th. We celebrate it all sorts of different days. We don't always do it on the 25th, but it's our celebration of the birth of Christ. And I love everything about this holiday. I'm like my boyfriend that was with me homesteading. We live separately for that reason. There you go, honey. Oh, my late boyfriend. I'm sorry. I thought you said you were late. Yep. I said, right. We need to fervently pray for our youth. So, y'all, if you guys ever have a prayer request, please just drop it in the comments. We'll be happy to pray as a community for you. We're to help carry each other's burdens. Like I said, we can have a pity party, but don't stay at the party. Have a closing time. Do a last call and wrap it up, and let's move on. But if you are going through, I'll leave you with this, and then let Timmy close. If you're going through those trials and tribulations right now, praise him in the storm. Be thankful for those because there will be an end to them. You will be better and you will have the tools that you need to help other people go through them. And that's how I look at that. I'm going through this right now so I can help encourage others when they go through it and give them hope and maybe some words of wisdom from my mistakes.
Yeah, that's definitely a connection, and you're kind of how other people feel, so you can relate.
Well, no one likes to be alone, and
No.
a lot of people feel like they're alone. They're the only ones going through what they're going through.
Yeah.
And if you don't hide that, don't be ashamed of it, that you've gone through it, that you can encourage others and give them hope. That's what we're here to do. Christian or not, we're to help each other go through this thing called life. Right. Well, you guys have a blessed day. And if you are in East Tennessee and you want to come to our prepping group meeting, we're having one tomorrow. Send me a text, 865-599-9959, and I'll send you the information about that because we meet once a month and our building was destroyed during the hurricane, but we have found a new location and I'm really excited to get with those like-minded people once again. But anyhow, y'all have a blessed day. Thanks for joining us for coffee.
Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you next week.